Hello there guys, and welcome back to our car modeling tutorial. And in this episode what I think we'll do is we'll continue with some of the Aero elements, and then I think we will merge these two sections together, and in doing so will then allow us to have a think about how we will extrude in this section here. That's going to be a little bit tricky. Not 100% sure how we'll do it yet, but it looks like it's going to be fairly easy because we have an intake of some kind of radiator inside here, so it looks like that might take a little bit of the annoyance out of it for us. Now before we do that, we'll crack on with some of the Aero elements. Now in the previous episode I think we was working on the wing and worked down the roof of the car here, and we can see we're looking pretty good as we go. So what we're going to want to do is we are probably going to want to create a brand new section here. Now looking at my reference images, I think what we'll need to do is we'll want to grab all of these points down here. So we'll grab all these lines on this bottom section here, and we should have a good view of this in the side view of how low exactly it is that we want to go here. So we're going to hit Control E and we'll pull this down. It doesn't really matter where just now, so we'll hit Control E, we'll pull that down there, and what we'll do is we can just about see this at the top, at the back here. So we'll kind of just pull that out just there, so it kind of meets that section, as we can see. And it looks like the rest of it kind of tucks in a little bit more, but we'll worry about that in a few. What we'll do is we will grab all of these points here, and we'll pull down to match. Now we can see that it's got kind of a lip. So we'll pull down to this lip section here, and it looks like we've got quite a good position with these two here, because it does look like the depth of this lip changes slightly. So we'll just mirror that there. Looks pretty good. And we'll just make it so all of these sit nicely just on here. So good. Now the way that this works is it kind of moves along down, but then it kind of breaks off up here, and what actually happens is it kind of merges to this front section rather than this back section. So I think what we'll do at this point is we will grab all of the faces that we've just extruded down, and we are going to hit Edit Mesh and Extract. So we'll see that we've lost our section over here now, but that's no bother just now. We can see now that we have two separate parts, so hitting that extract there has taken our lip that we just created away from the actual body of the car itself. And what we're going to want to do here is it looks like we're actually going to want this to kind of peel away from the body and come over to this section here. So we'll grab that vertices and we're going to hold V and we'll snap it to this section, and we'll also do the same and we'll snap it just there as well. And then we'll kind of pull that back down into position here, like so. And it also looks like we're going to want to pull this out as well, so we're kind of maintaining that kind of gap that we had. I think what we could do now is to get this front section, rather than extruding a bunch of times, I think it'll actually be easier if we can actually select this, if we hit edges on here, and we'll extrude down on what we have. So we'll extrude straight down here, and then we'll kind of just bring that along to match that curvature. And it also looks like we're probably going to want to kick this out ever so slightly there, like so. Now what we can do is we can bring this point again, holding V, and we can merge those, and maybe bring this one out as well, just to kind of help follow that piece. That's looking good, and we'll do the same with these. We'll select these lower faces here, and we will extract, and that will allow us now to kind of grab these two sections here. We're going to go to Mesh and Combine this time. So we can see now that these two have both become the same object, but what we need to do is with the vertices inside here, we're going to need to merge these because they're still not 100% the same object. So we'll go to Edit Mesh and Merge, and we'll do the same here. So now we can see when we pull this away, that's all part of the same thing. So that's looking pretty decent. Now first thing we'll do is we'll just make sure that that curve there at the front is looking pretty good, which I think it is. If I look at my references here, it does kind of curve out slightly. So maybe what we'll do is we'll bring these two forward just a little bit, along with this one too. So I think what we'll want to do is with all of these points until this bit here, just double check. Yep, until that point there. I think what we're going to want to do with this is we're going to want to bring it in. So we're going to pull it in to something like that. So we can see that we've got quite a defined kick in that section there, which looks pretty good. We just want to make sure that we're not offsetting this bit too much, so maybe we'll pull this one out slightly and we'll maybe do the same there. Something like that, which looks pretty good. And now what we'll want to do is want to grab all these lower edges, I think. We'll take these sections here. Just grab all of the forward and the bottom facing edges, should I say. And we can hold Control to deselect any edge here we don't want. Make sure we grab all these ones here. And what we'll want to do is we'll hit Control E to extrude. On the world option, we'll pull all these down here like so. So we can see that we're fine on the back there, but we're not so much at the front, so maybe we can adjust that afterwards. Or maybe we can add some slight rotation to this, maybe not quite that much. Okay. And then what we'll want to do is want to hit Control E again. This time we're going to go down slightly, and then we're going to tuck in. So we've kind of got a nice little lip in there. We could straighten this out a little bit as well. So that looks pretty good. Now what we'll maybe do is it kind of looks like it pops out a little bit, and maybe want to help just curve this here like so. Okay, that looks good. And using the darker lambit that I used before, what I'll do is I'm just going to assign that material to that as well. Cool, so we're looking pretty good there. I think what we could do now is we could have a look at the diffuser, but I do think what I might do is I might apply the lambit to this tray as well, because this is kind of darker in all the examples that I have. Do something like that for now. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. I think what we'll do now is we'll have a look at this rear diffuser section. Okay, so we're looking pretty good there, I think. So this rear diffuser section here, again, let me just adjust my references so I can see what the diffuser is looking like here. So it looks like it's fairly stylized, a combination of plastic and carbon fiber potentially. What we'll do is we will create this by using a plane, I think, brand new plane. And on this plane, I think we will reduce it down from 10 subdivisions on either side here to 1. And we'll need to rotate this here on that x-axis of a -90. I think what we'll want to do is we'll pull this up a little bit, and it looks like we should get a good view at the back here, and we'll also probably need the side view here as well, so we'll open up the two. So, you can get a really good angle of the curvature here. and we can see an awful lot on the back here as well. So I think what we'll do with this is we'll maybe start on this side edge. So the first thing we'll do is we'll maybe bring these in just a little bit. Now there's a few ways we can do this. I think what we'll do is we could maybe try to utilize the bevel tool. So what we'll do here is we will put as little information inside here as possible first, and then we'll attempt to use the bevel tool to kind of curve off our corners a little bit. But first we'll make sure that we're following the right lines here and up here. So what we'll do is we're going to grab our edges and we're going to extrude these up and around, but I think let's just pull these in a little. So we're going to hit Control E here, and we're going to pull up and we're going to drop this. Let's just make sure we're actually in the world option. So we're going to pull this up here, and we're going to go exactly in the middle of where we're going to want our curve to be. We're going to hit Control E again, and then we'll go to where we want the curve to end. And we'll straighten that off just a little bit there. And the first thing we'll do is we want to make sure that we're kind of following this curve around here. So we'll grab these points and this point here, kind of follow that around. And we'll do the same here for all of the corners. We'll pull this all the way to the very start of the corner. Straighten that off. Pull out something like that. We'll hit Control E, and again on the world we'll go straight into the middle of the corner here. Pull that into position, and again probably want to just make sure we're looking okay on this side here. Then we'll hit Control E, so we'll extrude again down like so. Let's get some rotation on this. We can start to pull these points in. And again, now it looks like we can go all the way down to the bottom point here. And we'll pull that in. Okay, so that's looking good. We can insert some more loops inside there in a few. And I think what we'll do is we'll just do the same to this point here. So we'll hit Control E into the center of the corner. Like so. And we'll hit Control E again, we'll bring that out here. We'll adjust on this edge. We'll extrude just one final time, and it looks like all we really want to do is maybe shuffle around these vertices ever so slightly here. I think everything else there is looking okay. Pull this down here. Let's check this line. Maybe go something like this. And this. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. So what we could try to do, now this may not work, if not, it's fine, we can add in some edge loops. But what we'll try to do here is we're going to try to bevel what we already have. So if we select our edge here, and we can go to Mesh and Bevel. Maybe chuck in some more segments. Maybe not quite that many. So we can maybe go 4 here. That will allow us then to adjust what we already have. so. What I'll maybe do is I'll grab all of these beveled points. We'll just pull those up and in like so. So that's looking okay. Make sure we're okay on the side view. Okay, so it's not done the best job on this side view here, so maybe it has. Maybe we can bring this up rather than anything else. Maybe just help that curve a little bit more. So it looks like that may have worked for the most part, so we'll try again down here. And we will bevel again. Something like that. Again, what we'll maybe want to do is just shuffle these around a little bit inside here. And again, I think what we'll just want to do is just adjust the first point or two to make sure we're getting a nice curve to those. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So what we'll maybe want to do, if we open up this rear view again, I think we could drop in a point here, just help it follow that curve. And we'll maybe drop another one in part of the way down here and do the same. Okay, now this one I'm a bit worried about, so let's just give it a go and see what like. Let's throw the bevel in here. That's not too bad, we can go with that, we can work with this. Maybe we'll just adjust these a little bit more. Hopefully you can't hear the crazy dog outside barking away. Pull that around here. Pull this one up slightly. All of this is going to be smoothed, so as long as it's looking nice enough just now, it's not too big of an issue. So which point is this here? It's quite far out, so I'm going to pull that around like so. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I think what we'll maybe do is we'll add another loop and we'll add it. Maybe we'll go for 2. Just in here. Go for one more here. I think the top section there should be fine. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. So I think what we'll do is we could now take all of the, what we'll maybe do is we'll only take, in this extrusion here, we'll just take the outside edge. So remove all those again, holding control in order to deselect. Take all these here, we'll hit Control E and we'll take these nicely into this section over here. And what we'll do is we'll straighten these off just to make it more manageable when we're working on the back section there. I think maybe, see, so we can kind of see that it dips down, so we'll take all of this bit here and then we'll take all of these bits up here. Just kind of stagger these a little bit, just to kind of get what we require, the shape we require. We'll go for something like that. All kind of drops down in there. Maybe grab all these points. Could maybe straighten them off. I think the best shout probably would be to drag them into the side here. And we'll do the same over here. Now I'm just gonna work on this a little bit here just to get a little bit of a better shape to that. And we'll do the same over here. Okay. Now on this inside section, it looks like maybe what we'll do is we'll take everything this side this time except for those bits. Hit Control E and we'll extrude in. We'll extrude down. Now we want this to be a little bit tidier than what we've just done. So bring this in, we'll extrude this down, and we'll maybe scale our way in, and then we'll maybe scale our way down as well. Something like that. And what we'll want to do is, with our vertices here, we'll hold V and we'll snap. And we can edit mesh and we can merge those together. And then we kind of want to maintain, I think, what we have there. Now, let's have a look. I think that might actually be a bit flatter than what we have. So let's have a look here. So it actually comes and extends down and around. So what we'll do with these is we'll drop these up here. Like so. And that will allow us to kind of just bring these points over just to kind of match. Something like that. Okay. So I think what we'll do is this bit here will merge over here to that section. Something like that there. And I think what we'll do is we'll actually get this point here and we'll extrude down. Take it in, and we'll do the same again. Extrude down, we'll take that in, so something like that there. This should look fine. And then the next thing we'll want to do is we'll want to kind of bring the little fins in as well. So we'll probably do that with just some basic box primitives. Down here. So we can see that all of this eventually comes all the way down. what we'll do is we'll change this to the component view, which will allow us to bring down nicely. Actually, maybe not. Maybe we'll keep this on the world just now. What we'll do is we'll flatten all of these off. Can maybe do the same to all of these points here. Now it looks like we're going to want to bring all of these down to look something like this. Okay. I think what we might want to do is we might want to do what we did with that top section. We'll actually straighten all of these off as well. Maybe just to here. So straighten those off and we'll bring them down in here. We'll maybe scale them in as well. Something like that. Okay, now this looks a bit chubby. It needs to be that kind of size there. Bring that up and in. And then these fins, we'll maybe just put some cheeky quick ones in for now. And then when it comes to the final details of this part, we can maybe add some additions to it. So if we grab this top section and we'll pull this up, it looks like it's offset towards the back there, and this one's the same. Go something like that. We'll pull these points all the way through, like so. And this top one here we'll need to pull down. Like this. Pull that back out. So we want to make sure that our top section is going through the top, but not through the very top of our two bits here. Do something like that. And what we'll do is we'll make this corner when it comes to smoothing, or we could bevel it as well. So it's got quite a smooth curve to it. Let's just see if we can't hit Ctrl D. Let's bring over here to kind of reflect what we want over there. So it looks okay. So maybe what we'll do, let's just delete this one for now. Let's grab this edge here, and it looks like we've got quite a corner to this, quite a nice smooth corner. So we will bevel this, and we'll turn that fraction up to my example here 0.6, and we can increase those segments there maybe to 8. Looks quite nice. Maybe what we'll do is we'll select all the edges to this and then just deselect all of the center ones, all the ones we just created. And we could have a go at beveling these as well. So we'll bevel these edges, maybe turn the fraction down slightly, 0.4, we'll maybe boost the segments up to 2. Something like that should be okay. It's got a nice little fin there, and then we'll just hit Ctrl D and bring that over to match the second one there. So that's looking pretty good. So what we could do as well as the side here, we can add our extra lambda inside here. So we've got that nice and dark to match. So quite happy with that, that's looking pretty good. Now I think what we'll do just before we finish this episode is we will merge these two sections together, and that will allow me then to take it back and flip it onto the other side after losing it once we extracted these sections here. So this can get a little bit confusing because what we need to do is we need to do what we did with these points down here. We want to grab these two, we want to combine them, then we want to run through and make sure we select all the correct sections. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to use the snipping tool to take a shot of what I have here. And this is just going to allow me to make sure that I correctly get all of the sections here that I need. So I'm going to take that, I'll take that over onto my other screen here, and after merging it's all going to change the same colour, so we're not going to see which one's which without having a better memory than I do. So what we'll do is we will select the two, we'll combine these elements, and we're going to do just like we did before. We're going to grab the edges, the vertices should I say, and we're going to run through and select all of them. So we see here when we pull over, we're not taking both of the bits with us. So we're going to select them here, I'm going to edit mesh and merge, and now we can see when we attempt to move that, we're taking the whole line with us instead. So we want to do that to all of these sections here. And what you'll want to do is once you've used it once, just like before, you can select all these aspects here, and then you can just hit the G on the keyboard, and that will remember the last tool that we used. So we see I need to run up all this edge here. Sometimes you may want to double check every odd few as you go along, just to make sure that you've merged them correctly. So we'll just hit G here, looks like we're running up this section here. And I think it went all the way down, can't really see this from my snip. So we can double check just by pulling this, so we can see that that definitely is one there. So we can hit G, and then I believe it runs all the way down here. Okay, so that's looking good. So you can run through and double check those. Maybe we'll grab one or two just to make sure. Go here. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay guys, so we'll stop this episode there, and in the next episode what we'll do is we'll have a go at merging this section here. Now I'm not 100% sure of how I'm going to go about doing it yet. It does look like it's going to be a bit of a tricky bit. But I think once we've done that, it will be a case of then maybe extracting the panels, adding some details, and have a think about getting these main sections here smoothed before we move on to make things like the headlights and all the vents and all that good stuff. Okay guys, cool.